Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am the host this afternoon, Michael, followed by guest host Anthony.
Hi, I'm back.
And other host, Sage.
Hi.
How we doing?
Anthony's here.
Hey.
Yay.
And I was going to say he'll be here next week, but I forgot.
But that's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't.
No, he won't be here next week. He'll be here in the past 4 weeks ago.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
Yeah. It is inaccurate.
That is actually the only way to put it.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah. In terms of people watching and listening to this,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is the only accurate way. But
Hey, good to be back,
is it?
Yeah, I mean, I was, basically guilted into coming onto this podcast today, but,
That's a strong word.
we're vibing.
If your friends don't force you to do things, though, what's the point?
That is true.
I believe the conversation was, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast?" No. And
No, it was.
and then I went, well, I was hoping you'd say yes, so I didn't have to change the setup from a 3-person to a 2-person. He went, well, hold a gun to my head. And I went, no, you don't have to. And he went, all right. And then I walked in my room, and then from a distance, I heard, okay. And then I went, hey, did you just say yes? And he went, yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was he was like, yeah, be on the podcast. And I was like, no. And then he was like, he threw me this emotional curveball. He was like, come on. And I was like, yeah. All right,
yeah,
fine,
emotional curveball.
He threw me that
Come
emotional
on.
curveball. And I was like, yeah, okay. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
Which one do you believe?
They were basically the same story.
Anyway.
I feel like there's no bias in either direction.
No,
It could be.
absolutely not.
Maybe you're just not trying hard enough.
You're doing your best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't believe that for a second. Anyway.
10% effort.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you guys want to talk
True Detective.
True Detective for a bit, I have no input on True Detective, but
It's just so good.
It's just wonderful.
I just don't
It is
understand
just
how
such a
you,
good
of all
show.
people, have not watched it.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad until like last year. I feel like it's
I
the
guess-
same level of.
I-
I've never seen Twin Peaks. I've never seen Sopranos. I mean, I don't know.
Okay,
The
valid,
Wire.
All right,
valid,
well, here's
valid,
the
valid.
Breaking Bad, I think, was the one to cross off first, for sure. I mean, that's like one of the greatest shows ever made.
Yeah.
So like that's, yeah.
I mean,
that
I
was the
have
one to
like
cross
literally
off.
no room to talk because I also only recently watched Breaking Bad, like 2 years ago.
I gotta rewatch Breaking Bad. I haven't seen it since it ended, actually, because I pretty much like marathoned it in like, oh god, was it 2013? So that had to be like what, sophomore year of high school?
Yeah.
I like marathoned it, and then I watched the final season like live.
That's how I did Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so I watched the final season live, and I was like, okay, so I understand like the hype, and like we would like me and my friends would like meet up every Sunday and watch it, and it was really great. But yeah, I think Breaking Bad was the one to cross off that list first. Now you got to watch The Sopranos. I mean, The Sopranos is like, dude, that's like the
I've
best.
also never watched The Sopranos.
Really?
But I have throughout my life watched different out of context clips of The Sopranos.
Oh yeah, that's the show like for out of context
because
clips.
my dad is obsessed with The Sopranos, and he
Right.
will always show me, like, he'll be like, "Oh, look at this funny scene," right? And it'll be like, I guess Tony Soprano talking to somebody and then being like, "I'm gonna bust your knees in."
Are there just multiple
That's
out
how
of
that show
context
goes,
scenes
really.
with
Yeah,
that? But yeah, like Sopranos, The Wire, Twin Peaks, True Detective, many a show I've just never gotten around to. So
you got time. You're a young man.
yeah, I'll either die tomorrow or I won't.
I feel like the shows that I watch is either like complete brain rot, like head empty, like true garbage.
Right.
Right, like Gossip Girl, Pretty Little Liars.
Go piss, girl.
Yeah, like
Yeah, hell yeah.
like things that are like not highbrow but extremely entertaining.
Oh, you watch it for the tea.
Oh, absolutely.
I get it. I get it.
The over the top, like borderline, like soap opera drama.
Oh, that was me for like 5
But
years with Real
I
Housewives of New
refuse
Jersey.
to watch an
Are you
actual
kidding me?
soap opera. You know. Mm-hmm. Or I'll watch shows that it's like, oh, I have to like really sit down and think.
Yeah.
And like fully absorb the show.
See, I'm that way too. Like whenever I'm sick, I want to watch like nothing that'll make like me
Garbage.
give any like semblance of brain power. I have 2 sick shows:
Yeah.
Family Guy and Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives.
And Cheers.
Let me tell you. No, I mean Cheers. I watched like I
you were
watched
dying
regardless.
and watching Cheers.
Cheers is also a bit
You
of a
were
comfort
dying
show.
and watching.
I did. I had COVID last week. It sucked. But no, Cheers is a comfort show though. I like Cheers. Cheers is just like is just fun.
Oh, that's me with
But-
Friends, and I
Yeah,
know,
you get it,
I
so you
know,
get
like
it.
that's like the most basic thing.
But there's something about like 80s and 90s sitcoms that's just so like, like warm and fuzzy. You know what I mean?
So I had never actually watched Friends all the way. I'd like seen random episodes on TV, but one time when I was making a cosplay, I was like, "Oh, I need something like for background because
Sure.
I just work better with like background noise on."
Yeah.
And Friends had just come on to Netflix, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, whatever. I'll put on Friends. Start from the beginning."
Yeah.
I watched exactly 5 seasons of Friends in a binge of 2 weeks. That's how long it took me to make this costume. So, however long 5 seasons of Friends is in hours. And then I was like, okay, I'm Friendsed out for like at least a month now because I just binge watched 5 years worth of Friends. And then I binge watched like the next 5 seasons, like next month.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that was pretty enjoyable. And now I'm pretty sure Friends, Pretty Little Liars, and Avatar: The Last Airbender and Yu-Gi-Oh! All shows I just rotate as background noise that I watch all the way through at least once a year, every single year.
Yeah.
Because I'm a menace.
See, I don't.
Pretty Little
I don't
Liars.
do that. Like I like with basically anything. Like I very rarely rewatch anything, especially when it's long.
Oh, I am such a rewatcher.
I'm a rewatcher.
I
too,
could
especially
rewatch
when it comes
any-
to like sitcoms.
Like
Yeah.
in
I'm
my
a rewatcher.
brain,
low stakes, low like
exactly
energy
what it is.
shows where I don't really need to pay attention to understand what's going
It's exactly
on.
what it is. It's low stakes.
No, like I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get the thought process behind it.
Yeah.
Like loved Friends when I watched it a few years ago. And like I would get people rewatching it, but in my brain I'm like, this is a waste of my time. I could be watching a new thing. So why not watch a new thing that's
But
been on my list?
when you watch a new thing that you're using as background noise,
Well, background noise is usually anime for me.
but are you absorbing the content? You know what I mean?
Usually in the way I'm using background noise, yes. Because like it would be like when I was doing homework and stuff, or just typing shit out on my computer, and it's like it's right in front of me. So like,
Oh, gotcha.
and in dub, obviously,
Right.
and so like I'm still like
You're not trying
absorbing
to.
it.
You can't be like reading. And
Yeah,
then-
like a majority of the anime I watched when I started getting back into anime was in college when I was doing like schoolwork on my fucking bed and had anime on the TV because I was like, I should start watching anime again.
right.
And then I fucking watched like a billion shows in a year. So like, but like it's like even my favorite shows of all time. The only time I've ever rewatched shows is for this podcast.
Really?
I just don't do it because I'm like I'd rather watch something new.
Oh, I
Which is why I like Code Geass. I'm like
so
I
rewatchable.
was like I've already watched this show.
It's so rewatchable.
Funny enough, the only time I've ever rewatched anime has also been on this show, back when I was like a regular host on it. Because I remember my first ever pick was Erased, and I'd watched
Banger,
that.
except for the ending.
I watched that, and then I rewatched it for the show because that was the only one I'd seen. And I think, and then Mushishi, because
Yeah.
I watched that, and then it was
Also
only
a
ones that
banger.
I'd seen, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like I just because a lot of times my thought process is I'd rather be watching something new that I haven't gotten to. Why watch something I've already done?
I don't know. I feel like
I
every time.
feel like you noticed something different too. Sorry to cut you
Oh
off.
no, it's
What were you
okay.
gonna say?
Whenever I want to watch something new, like mainly because I guess of just like how I watch stuff, I want to be like fully present and engaged, even if it's something that I know is complete garbage going into it, because I want to make sure it's garbage.
Yeah.
You know,
No, yeah, I got that.
I believe in being an educated hater.
No, I mean, and that's fair.
I
you
guess
know?
I guess at this point in my life, I don't do a lot of things where I need background noise anymore. Like if I'm
Everything background
no,
noise.
because if usually at this point, like if it's something where I need background noise, it's something where I wouldn't be able to pay attention, so I'll just put on music. Like it's not like I'm gonna be sitting there for hours. Like if I'm working, it's music. I'm not gonna put on a show because I need to be able to like fully look at something.
right.
At least for my job specifically. 'Cause
Right.
And also because as an editor, a lot of times I can't even do that because I need to be able to listen to the audio that I'm editing. So I
Right.
can't do anything during work anyway.
Right.
And then when I'm not working, if I'm like cleaning or doing shit, like then it'll just be music because I know I won't be paying attention. So like if I'm sitting down to do something, at that point I am sitting down and thus will be paying attention to whatever I'm watching. I think at this point in my life, there's no real overlap for like where I'd be watching anime as background noise kind of thing.
Right.
Unless I'm playing a video game, and in which case then I'll put on an anime.
Right.
Because I'm able to pay attention enough to the anime while playing the game, depending on the game.
Right.
Like if it's a story-driven game, I usually don't co-op those.
Right.
But like that's the only time, and I haven't played games really at all this year because I've been on my movie goal
Right.
thing. So I've really only been watching movies.
I don't. Maybe then it's just a me thing because I will use background noise for any task.
Oh, so do I.
Grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning my
Yeah,
house.
but that's all music for me.
Like
Never shows.
like sometimes it's music, sometimes it's shows, sometimes it's podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything where like there's just noise in my ear. I don't even really need to like have see the screen. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I will because I have like a little Google Home like thing in my kitchen, so like I can watch a show while I'm cooking or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I am so pro background noise for any task.
I see. For me, I am too. I'm 100% all in on background noise. Like I'm voting for it in the election. Like we're all in, right? But I think for me, it depends on the activity. That like it depends on the activity where I'll choose what background noise I like put on, right? So like when I'm grocery shopping, I'll put in my headphones. I'm listening to like music or whatever. When I'm doing like something upstairs on the computer, I'll usually like throw on a show. And it also depends on what I'm doing on the computer. So like if I'm like doing a to-do list or like doing something for work or whatever, I'll put on like a show. If I'm playing a game, I'll listen to some music. Like, so I think it depends on like what activity that I'm doing. I'll put the background noise on, but like I'm 100% all in on background noise. Like I don't know if it's like years of undiagnosed ADHD or just
I mean, mine
having-
is absolutely diagnosed ADHD, and I just need noise to focus. It's like it's always been that way.
I
but-
physically can't be driving in the car and not have music.
Oh no, I
on.
have to have music on. Yeah, no.
or
it
psychopaths.
feels, like,
Only
so weird.
psychopaths don't.
Like people,
listen to
You know?
something.
It
people who
feels so
can
weird.
drive in silence. My mom actually, because she used to not have anything on ever,
Psychopath.
and then she moved on to like books on tape, which not interesting ones. Like it's an actual book, like a story. No, they were the most boring, sleep-inducing garbage. And the people like narrating it spoke
Yeah.
very monotone. I'm like, how are you not falling asleep at the wheel every single day?
I
I would be causing the worst crashes listening to this.
listening to an audiobook while driving is crazy. Like I don't think I could ever do it. I don't
I
know.
need it to be a good story. Like
It's gotta be a good story.
I listened to like The Shining recently as an audiobook. It was actually very enjoyable experience to listen
Yeah.
to it. But that was like a story with characters and different voices.
Yeah.
So that like kept it going.
There's only
you
been
know?
one audiobook in my life I've thought about listening to because I don't read. Except what would be weird to me about the specific book is that it's Sandman. Because they have an insane cast for the Sandman audiobook.
They do. Yeah. I
But-
remember they put that together.
It's a comic. So you wouldn't you rather be looking at the images that like that's where I'm like maybe you're supposed to be like reading it while it's happening, but like it just seems like an
I
odd.
don't know. I feel like
No, yeah, you just use the script of the comic and then probably flesh it out a bit more.
I mean, it just seems odd.
I feel like
I feel like you'd
depending
rather be
on-
looking at the thing.
I feel like novelizations of movies are like in that same kind of
Same
boat.
vein?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not the book that the movie is based on.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like because somebody wrote like for Star Wars, somebody wrote like novelizations of the prequels, and it's
right.
like the movies they're right there. Like, you don't have to imagine what's going on when they've already made the movie.
Right.
Like,
I can see it on a screen.
Exactly. Right.
Like I mean, like because the cast that they got for the audiobook is like I remember it just being insanely stacked, and I'm like that sounds interesting, but I'd rather read it.
Have you already read the comic though?
I have not yet. That's why I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Like, because like it's one of those things that like I've started multiple times, but it's just a lot.
it's a dense
Right,
text.
dense to
It's a
get
very
through.
it
dense
is.
text.
It is 3 omnibuses, which are all like 50 issues long, which are
Oh
like
my
1,100
God.
page pluses, and it's
There's also
3
all the-
volumes.
There's also all
So
the
they're all
spin-offs and all
thick.
that shit.
Oh yeah, they're big.
There's a lot.
And
Yeah.
I own the Omnis. I just need to like one day sit down and read them.
Right.
Realistically, what's probably gonna happen is it's gonna be my commute book, at some point.
That's smart.
Because that's how I get through longer series I haven't gotten around to yet. Is like when I'm on the train for an hour twice a day.
Commute book is honestly the best. It's the best way
yeah.
to get through a train ride.
Like
It
literally,
is.
you
it's
could
it
read
is.
so.
it's my go-to thing for comics that I haven't gotten around to.
When I used to work in the city, like I read in one semester during my internship, I think I read like 20 books
Yeah.
just from the commute alone.
yeah,
Because otherwise, what am I going to do? Sit there like on my phone for the entire hour or 2 hours,
I
depending
put
on what.
headphones in, I play music, and then I just read.
No, I'm right there with you. Back when I used to work in the city, I read more than I ever did in
Same.
out of college. I mean, because in college, right? Like I was a literature minor too, so I
Right.
like had to read.
Right.
But
You were
yeah, I was a lit minor. I don't
Nerd.
know why the fuck I did that.
nerd.
But yeah, I mean, like, because in high school and like it's sometimes in college, like you're supposed to read, right? Like you have
You're
these books
supposed to read.
Well, yeah, like in high school, you're like assigned books,
Right, right,
and
right,
like,
right.
and when I was, in college, like I was assigned books that I had
Supposed
to
to
read.
read.
Yeah, right. Like,
that was me. The quotations were me.
but like it was all shit that like the biggest thing that I've learned about reading is that like throughout like your childhood, you are given books that you are supposed to read. Right, I know, like supposed to read, you know what I mean. But like you are assigned books.
Keep talking.
Okay. You are okay. You're assigned books,
Right.
That you most likely don't want to read, right? And I figured out that when you actually read books that you want to read, reading is so much more enjoyable. Oh, hey, Asuka. Is this for me?
Well,
Yes.
it's your figure.
I know it's my figure, but like
Yes,
I-
reading
yeah.
books you want to
All right,
read
well.
is way more enjoyable.
yeah, I mean like I'm very into like musician biopics or not biographies.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
So like I read a few of those like on the train ride when I was going to work and stuff like that, and like it's just like so much better.
Yeah.
When you're not being forced to read like fucking Catcher in the Rye or like, not that they're bad books or whatever, but like come on.
So-
like, I don't want to read that shit.
So when I used to read on the train, because I love like thrillers and like mysteries and things
Sure.
like that. And I was reading Sharp Objects.
Yo, I love Sharp Objects.
Me too.
Oh, have you ever seen the show?
Yes, it's
Oh
so
my god,
good.
that is like literally my favorite miniseries ever.
It's
like
so
it
good.
is wonderful.
It honestly, the miniseries is such an excellent like translation for the book.
It is. It
It's
is. And I'm such a slut for like gothic, like
Yes.
Southern Gothic.
Yes.
Like Sharp Objects fills that same niche as True Detective season 1.
Yes,
Both
I-
set in Louisiana, both like very dark, broody, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
like
yeah.
It's shit like that I love.
Yeah.
Right? And like Justified also fills that niche, that show Justified. But sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Sharp Objects is like phenomenal.
But yeah, so
love
when I
that
was
fucking
reading
book.
Sharp Objects on my commute and stuff, it's actually a really short book, so it's like really quick to get through.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was reading it, there were certain moments where I was so genuinely shocked that I'm just sitting on the train, like mouth completely open.
With the final few pages.
Yeah,
like, are you kidding? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Craziness.
it's fucking crazy.
Even in the show, when I knew it was coming, I was like,
Yeah, you're like, because at least like, whereas I feel like the book is a little bit more like dour with its ending, because at least like in the show, it's a little bit more of an, I won't say like positive, but it's a little bit more like hopeful. You know, like Camila's getting her shit back together. She's got an apartment. She's
Right.
getting like a new job. Her sister's coming to live with her, and then it's like that last fucking reveal, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh. Like she made all that work. She did all that work to like better herself.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry, we're done here.
it's so good.
It's so brutal. It's so good though.
I feel the book is just, instead of like this, like where the show you get like at least like a little ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
The book is just like no,
it's like
all
no.
misery,
Insanely dour.
all
Like,
misery,
oh,
all suffering.
brutal.
It's so good though.
it is wonderful. I like a lot of those HBO miniseries. You know, like
Yeah.
I feel like especially when they're like original. I mean, not that the adaptations of books are bad or anything. Like, is Big Little Lies based off a book? Do you know? It is. Okay, I've never read the book, but
I haven't either, but I just know it's based off on.
back when Big Little Lies was a miniseries, like I haven't seen season 2 yet, but like that was just such like a. There's something about an HBO miniseries that's just like so like tightly like produced and like so just like I don't know how to describe it. It's just it fills a niche. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking for like an insanely compelling story that like knows when it's over and like and it's just, I don't know how to describe. I don't know how to put like the words to the
It
thought right
scratches
now.
that itch, but
It
it's like a
scratches that itch.
very
Exactly what it is.
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is getting like there's something about just like getting A-list actors, a really well written story, like the top talent in the industry to like write and direct and produce and do all the cinematography and editing and all that. Like everything about it.
That's how I feel about like the Knives Out movies.
Oh yeah.
Because they're just.
Oh my god.
It's just it scratches that itch, but they're just so well produced and so enjoyable
oh
and
my
fun.
God. Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
my. That's the thing too, is that those movies are so goddamn fun.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Like, and it's all anchored with Daniel Craig too, who like is like he is committed. He is 100% in to the fact that this character that he plays is like this gregarious, like insanely hyper intelligent, but still like silly character. You know,
he's the kind of man where he's like so smart that he doesn't know how to like exist in a normal plane. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like
Yeah.
living a mundane life is like stressful for him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, there's not
He's
enough
just so eccentric.
ridiculous, crazy shit going on.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
it's like, and you see like glimpses of like his like normal life
Yeah.
in the second movie, and
Yeah.
you're just like, of course, like it's
Yeah.
like of course he's living, like doing like fucking cross, like like sitting in a tub with like 1,000 books around him doing a crossword with an open flame, like
Yeah.
like okay, yeah, this is 100% this guy, you know.
Yeah. He lives recklessly, but like not on purpose.
Yeah, married to Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Like, he's every man's dream. Like, but yeah, those movies are really fun. Have you seen the teasers for the third one? You guys have seen the teasers
No.
for the
No,
third
I
one
haven't.
yet?
Although I was less interested in the second, so
I feel like at least in our friend group, I feel like a decent amount of people were like, yeah, the second
yeah,
one
like the
wasn't as
first
good as
one,
the first one.
fantastic. Second one, didn't really care. There were great moments, but as a whole, especially mystery wise, like it wasn't there for me.
I say I do think the first one is better, but I am a staunch defender of the second one. I do love that movie. I get how it's not it doesn't like resonate with people as much as the first one does. But I don't know, man. It's just something about
maybe
just-
because I watched the second one first, because I knew it's like an anthology. Like it doesn't
yeah,
it really matter if
yeah,
you
it
watch the
doesn't
first
matter.
one, because like outside of Benoit Blanc, like literally nothing is the same. And I remember I saw it on Netflix and I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, I'll watch it. Because I remember hearing good stuff about it. So I watched that, and then the same night I watched the first one.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know. I think they're both really entertaining. I think they're entertaining in different ways, though.
You know what it is?
If
It's
that
just
makes
like-
sense.
No, absolutely, and it's the fact that like people love a good murder mystery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like a shit ton of shows and like movies today are like
It's
about
so
murder
it's so
mysteries.
popular.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because like I mean, like look at every HBO murder, every HBO miniseries is about a murder in a small town.
Yeah.
with a cop who's like on the brink.
I thought you were gonna say, look at every white girl ever.
No.
That's also factual.
Yeah. But like almost every HBO miniseries or like every stuff like that is about like, you know, a murder in a small town that completely upends the small town.
Oh,
And
yeah.
a cop on the brink of like losing their grip on reality has to solve
Even
it.
non
You know?
like highbrow television, like in like the 2010s, murder mysteries were so popular.
insanely popular.
Like Pretty Little Liars, originally a murder mystery.
Right.
The first season of Riverdale, a murder mystery. You know, like all these like teen dramas, they were all set up as murder mysteries. Did they stay that way? Not so much,
Didn't they get like
but-
superpowers in Riverdale? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, I think that happens in like season 4.
That's
I
crazy.
think what is Cheryl? Is that her name?
Yeah.
She becomes like a witch.
Yeah, I think Cheryl
Just
becomes a
ripping the
witch.
Band-Aid off. Like,
Yeah,
that's season 4.
Cheryl becomes a witch, and then I don't remember what happened. Like
Through
the other
through
characters,
the power of being a lesbian. I think.
it could be.
I think you told me that.
Hey, look, I'm all for lesbian witches. Like, that shit rips. But, like, Riverdale was not the show that I expected to have that. You know.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jughead,
I thought it was just like-
Jughead rules a gang.
Riverdale goes off the fucking rails, bro. Like season 1, which is the best season.
I was gonna say,
because
honestly, solid season.
it's because it's the most like grounded and
Well, a lot of people were like comparing it to Twin Peaks with like how like the way
and,
it was structured
like
and the way it like
the visuals are great.
yeah.
It's also the shortest season.
Mm.
Like I think they really understood what they wanted for season 1, but then you immediately feel the dip in quality starting season 2, and then shit goes completely off the rails. Like I think after season 2, they were like, we don't need to be realistic, grounded. We don't need anything to make sense. Continuity, we don't know her. Logic, out of the room.
Okay.
And then I think in season 7 or 6,
There's 7 seasons of Riverdale.
there sure is.
Are you fucking for real?
At some point, there's a time jump, and they all come back to Riverdale as adults. And Jughead is like a struggling author, and then he gets kidnapped by aliens. I am not making this up. I am not making this up. And then they decide to rebuild the town, and they all become teachers at the high school. And something
This is the last season?
no, I think this is in season 6. In the last season, they go back in time. They go back in time to set them, these 30-year-old actors, when they were like, okay, you guys are too old to play high schoolers. We're going to have a time jump. Actually, I think the time jump is in season 5. But don't
Okay.
quote me because I have not watched all of Riverdale because I
Sure.
tried to. When I tell you, I tried so hard to watch Riverdale, and halfway through season 2, I was like, I just do not have the
can't
willpower
do
for it.
That was my sister too. My sister like jumped ship after like season 2.
I
I only finished season 1.
and I watched
Sounds like
all
that's the place to
7
stop.
seasons of Pretty Little Liars. Okay, but Riverdale is just garbage that's not even fun.
Well, because like Jughead ends up with Betty.
Yeah.
Veronica ends up with Archie.
Well, apparently in the last season they end up all as like a quad couple.
Oh, they go polyamorous.
So, but,
Really?
but so
Really?
so they do like a quad couple.
I guess
where
that
they're
kind of makes sense, right?
all together.
well, it only makes sense in the show because in the comic, I'm pretty sure Jughead does not give a fuck about women.
Jughead,
All he gives
in
a
the
shit about is
comics
food.
is asexual canonically.
Is he?
Really?
Yes.
I thought that was only like people theorized that.
No,
'cause he
no,
just
no.
wants food.
Canonically is asexual
Really?
in the comics.
Huh.
And yes, he is definitely only interested in food.
Right.
Um,
Because I was gonna say, because like, isn't like the whole thing like Archie is like in like has to choose between Veronica and the other one
and Betty, yeah.
Right.
So basically,
So I was gonna say like, oh, that's kind of interesting. They went like the polyamorous
so
route, to just
basically
like
in
not piss
season
anybody off.
1, in season 1, they do kind of stick with that of like
What like the will they won't they between the three of them?
Archie. Well, kind
No,
of a yes and no.
because Jughead and Betty end up together in season 1.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. Like the pilot is Betty is like pining for Archie.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then Veronica comes into town because her and her mom moved from New York City into Riverdale because the dad is in jail for like embezzlement.
Sure is.
And
Sure is.
and their name has been disgraced in the city.
It has
so
been
they have to
besmirched.
move it they have to move to Riverdale. And now they're living like peasants, okay?
Okay.
Except they still have a lot of money.
Sure.
But not like Upper East Side Gossip Girl money.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean,
But they still have a lot of money.
And
okay?
and then
Think like-
Archie's like hot foreign woman
essentially.
because
from New York?
yeah uh-huh.
Yeah.
yeah because it's not someone from here and he's
Oh,
like
okay.
Hot outsider.
how yeah
Oh, okay.
that's the one I want and Betty's like
Home.
Yeah, so then but anyway, so then Veronica comes to town and she's shaking things up because
She's super hot, though.
she already has this status somehow of being a mean girl, even though she literally just got to town. So how people know this already, I don't know.
This is
Camila Mendes.
Camila Mendes.
hold on.
And Lily Reinhart plays Betty, who's
Yeah.
also very attractive.
Oh, I've heard that name, Lily Reinhart.
Her and Cole Sprouse were actually dating for a while.
Yeah.
Really?
For like
Yeah,
3
yeah.
years,
Was she
I
just
think.
was
like
he
a-
just
a
the one
long
that got
time.
married?
Yeah.
Wasn't there one that just got married? Dylan.
Yeah,
Dual
he
brother.
married
Dylan.
a model.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dylan really just kind of disappeared from the limelight and then married a model.
He's in the
Honestly,
after,
like
he's in the after movies. Dylan
Who?
Sprouse.
The
the after movies.
What the fuck is
Oh,
that?
do you not know about the after movies?
Can't say I
No.
do.
Okay, so After is
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're
True-
both. Yeah, she's very hot.
is a
Same with Lily
truly
Reinhart.
horrible, one of the worst. You know the like fan fiction into like YA novel pipeline?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so After is one of those.
Fan fiction in the YA novel. Yeah, 100%.
You understand what I'm
No,
saying?
that's like 100%.
Okay, so After is one of those, and it was originally a Harry Styles ex like your name, like insert your name here.
Oh god.
Fanfics,
After?
I think, or it basically was that, right? And basically the whole time Harry Styles is a piece of shit, and his girl and the main girl Tessa is like also a piece of shit, but in a different way.
Which one of the brothers? This is Dylan.
Dylan
This
Sprouse.
is Dylan. Okay.
But yeah, and this somehow spawned, like, it was so popular that there's like multiple books and they made 5 movies.
No, they did not.
They sure did.
They
I'm looking at
absolutely
it.
made 5 movies. And when I tell you,
After we collided, after we fell, after ever happy, after everything.
and every single movie is the exact same plot.
Oh, great.
Like, there is no character development or progression. Like, the Harry Styles character, Hardin, horrible name.
Pardon.
He's like a broody, pissy, alcoholic, abusive, like, college student. And Tessa, who's the main girl, in the beginning, she has a boyfriend, right? And she's going to college, freshman year in college. And her boyfriend is finishing his senior year at high school. Fine, who cares?
Sure.
The boyfriend becomes annoying and irrelevant. But basically, she starts college, and the mom the whole time is like, you have to be careful because kids are bad and blah, blah, blah. And then Tessa's like, no, like, I'm not going to be going to parties and all that. So she, of course, first day of college, goes to a
Goes
party.
to a fucking party. Yeah.
Immediately goes and cheats on her boyfriend with Hardin.
Hardin.
I'm not kidding. Hardin.
Okay.
These movies make quite a lot of money.
They are random.
People love schlocky romance.
Well, America doesn't. Everywhere else does.
I don't know why these are so popular
Like
because
12 million, 57 million outside, 2 million in America, 45 million everywhere else.
Holy shit.
I don't know why these movies are so popular, because it's like imagine the relationship dynamic of Christian Grey and Anastasia, but in college,
Oh, so cardboard.
and
So he like beats her?
literally
Like, what the
zero
fuck?
care. No, he doesn't. I don't think he ever actually abuses her physically, but he sure does emotionally manipulate her and like cause her mental torment constantly. Like, they are two characters that are actually so horrible for each other. Whereas like at least with Christian Grey and Anastasia, I'm like, okay, I can see how
Yeah, they match each other's freak.
not really, but I can at least see
No.
the I can fix him attitude, and she actually does. Okay,
Who?
like
Anastasia fixes Christian Grey?
a little bit.
A little bit.
Like the level of horrible person goes down like a couple of notches at least, right?
Really?
In After, Hardin stays a piece of shit the entire time. He never progresses.
So no semblance of character growth.
None
At all.
And Tessa never grows a backbone, so they just stay awful the whole time.
And this is Dylan Sprouse? This is the
No, Dylan
Hardin
Sprouse
the
is
Sprouse
like
brother?
some random supporting character. He's just there.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy?
I don't know, some random guy
Some fuck?
who's actually supposedly in real life British, and yet in the movies he sounds
Wild accusation.
no, because in the movies he sounds fake British, and I'm like, so do you have?
So wait, he speaks in his regular accent?
Yeah, but it just sounds fake.
Oh, he just sounds like he's like, oi mate, what you saying?
it just sounds fake.
Like
and
awful like that?
Like you would think going into it being like, oh, this is like they casted like an American guy and was like, can you please do a British accent? He like lied on his resume. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's British in real life.
Psychotic.
It's craziness.
That's
I'm like,
psychotic.
how can you be bad at your own accent?
So what does the Sprouse brother do in these movies? What is he
Literally
just like kind of hang
nothing.
around?
He's just there. Oh, actually,
Set
no,
dressing?
no. He. I think in the second movie he shows up
Okay.
to be like a potential like. Oh, maybe she's
like a
gonna
curveball.
get. Maybe she's gonna get with this guy. And actually, now I'm remembering, he shows up multiple times, and he's actually the way better pick for her. But Tessa hates good things and happy relationships, so she says, "You know what? Why dodge this bullet that is Harden and be with a nice guy who is Dylan Sprouse when I could live a shitty life instead?" Like, Dylan Sprouse is constantly showing up being a true good guy, but she doesn't want that. He's so here to respect her boundaries and be like nice and helpful. And she's like, you know, you're really great and nice, and I love that you're such a great friend.
Ooh, she friend zones him. That's brutal.
And he's just like, you know what?
He's like, fuck it.
I respect your decisions. And he's constantly like, you realize your boyfriend's like kind of a piece of shit. And this relationship should not be this hard. Like, yes, a relationship should not just be squeaky clean, easy all the time.
Yeah.
But this is too much. And she's like, no, I can fix him. You can't.
Jesus Christ.
They're horrible. Everyone is horrible.
I don't know what it is about people that just love, like, people love watching just, like, clearly awful relationships in, like, rom-coms. Or not I guess romance movies.
Look, as somebody who grew up reading fan fiction and like this particular brand of garbage, I understand the appeal, right? Where it's like main love interest is like he's a hardened bad boy because he has a troubled past, right?
Oh, God.
I get it. But the whole point is that he's supposed to like open up and then become vulnerable with his partner.
Right.
You know, instead of just like lashing out constantly because he doesn't know how to like healthily express his emotions.
You know, be a human being.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I get the appeal in those storylines where they progress as a person and then in turn their relationship can progress and they can like be a nice unit.
Right.
That's the good example. After is the terrible example because it actively endorses a relationship where both people are unhappy with each other constantly. And the whole timeline of like the whole thing, I think is only like a couple of months.
Of all 5 movies?
Yeah. I'm pretty certain in the first movie, this man buys an apartment because he doesn't want to not live together. Or maybe that's the second movie because they have internships. That could be the second movie. Buys a whole apartment. I'm like, y'all are freshmen in college. Who's letting you live off campus? What?
The letterboxd rating is a solid 1.5.
Go
for the first
through
movie.
all the letterbox ratings
All
of
right.
all these movies.
Also, the wrench is behind you on your right.
Oh, okay, yeah, because
on your-
this is getting a little mushad over here.
It's just
Thanks. Yeah.
that one.
Yep.
Whatever. It's the one connected to the thing.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. We got a 1.5 for the first one.
Yeah.
All right, we're starting off real strong.
We got a 1.5 for the second.
Okay.
Very consistent.
Yeah.
We got
if any of these movies
a-
are consistent.
We got a 1.4 for the third.
Sick.
A
So it's the worst one
1.4.
so far.
A 1.5 for the fourth. Went back up,
Cool. Thanks.
so it's marginally better.
Marginally better.
And the fifth,
The finale?
1.5.
1.5, baby.
So the middle movie is the worst one.
wait, that came out this year?
The fifth one? Yeah,
No,
I think
no, it
so.
was last
Came
year.
out last year.
Or
Were they
last year.
all different directors? Did they all just like kind of get into a committee and were like, eh?
I would jump ship.
Same
Okay,
one.
no, same one.
Same one.
Oh, so it's just the
Different.
Roger Cumble. So the last 3 had the same one. They were
Yes.
same director.
Yeah, but the first two have
Well,
different.
this Castile London lady had a vision. She had a vision
Or a great contract.
or an amazing contract.
because the movies
She's pretty though.
themselves, like, they don't look great. They don't sound great. The acting isn't
Just
phenomenal.
technically disgusting.
Like everything is so like middle of the road,
Is that
know?
also Dylan Sprouse? It is also Dylan Sprouse.
Yeah, he's in them.
No, a different movie.
Oh. He's in
Um,
another like bad this kind of
Wait,
movie.
is that also Dylan Sprouse?
Oh my god. This
It
guy,
is.
This guy's got Dylan. He must know something about Dylan Sprouse. He must know something.
They're sequels.
Beautiful Disaster and Beautiful
Ugh.
Wedding.
Yeah.
Also horrible.
Oh god.
Wait, they came out a year after each other? Yeah.
Also horrible.
Yeah, this guy's got dirt on Dylan Sprouse, and he's like, you have to start my rom-coms, or else I'll reveal that
he
like.
did make Just Friends though, in 2005.
Is that the one with Ashton Kutcher or
No, it's
Justin
the
Timberlake?
Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris
Is that Amy Smart?
What?
and Amy Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, Amy Smart's wonderful. I love Amy Smart. Oh, I remember this. Oh, this guy did this movie?
Apparently.
It's like Ryan Reynolds is like the big heavy guy. He's like fat, and then he like loses a lot of weight. Right? Is that what
I
happens?
don't-
He loses
What's
a lot of
funny
weight?
is that I think Ryan Reynolds got way more attractive later in life than he did at start. I feel like
the soul patch didn't do him any favors.
like the early look of him, he is like too baby faced. Like he needed the gruff.
He also had like a soul patch for a while, and like that wasn't doing him any favors.
You know what it is? Is young
He's
Ryan
too
Reynolds.
smooth.
Yeah, he was just too like clean cut and nice looking, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
too much of like a nice boy.
Yeah, like his
You know?
Nice boy.
like he got more attractive as time went on.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's a good-looking guy now.
Yeah.
for sure.
He's someone who needed the little.
He needed
like
the 5 o'clock
the
shadow.
the slight
crow's
weathering
feet.
of age.
Yeah. Who do you think is an actor besides Ryan Reynolds that got more attractive with age?
Ooh.
Hugh Jackman.
Paul Rudd.
I'll say
I
it.
would agree. Paul Rudd. Agree.
Paul Rudd, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that.
Seth Rogen.
Josh Brolin.
Seth Rogen's like a fashion icon now.
Yeah.
You ever see those pictures? Those campaigns he did with, I think it was like a Gucci,
No.
where he's wearing like the fucking like this shirt and like the pants and like the Gucci belt and like the loafers on the beach, and he's like,
No, but that
and I'm
sounds
like,
really.
Seth.
That sounds really funny though.
Oh my god, I'm like, let me see if I can find it. I'm like, Seth, how you doing?
But yeah,
he did
Josh
get very
Brolin
attractive.
for sure.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever
Really?
seen Josh Brolin young.
Yeah, actually, oh no, he's in Goonies.
He's
Is
in.
he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the older brother.
Hold on.
He actually is adorable in that movie. But yeah, I think he looks like as in like the past 10 years, I feel
Holy
like
fuck, that is
he
him.
just looks like more and more handsome. Like the salt and pepper thing is really working for him.
This is what's his name? Josh Brolin?
Yeah. You don't know Josh Brolin?
No, I know who Josh Brolin is. I'm looking up the.
Apparent-
here it is. I found it.
Apparently, for a Halloween party, he dressed up as the character again at some
Oh,
point.
that's really funny.
Oh, that rocks. So
Good-
like, yeah,
good bit.
Seth Rogen in this like I think it's Dolce & Gabbana or GQ. Well, I mean those are two different things, but
I
like,
was like, GQ is a magazine.
yeah, but like, look at that. Are you kidding me with that fit?
Yeah, he looks great.
Are you kidding?
He looks great.
I'm like, who would have thought? Like, are you kidding?
Looks great.
Right? Look at this guy.
Love the dog.
Look at this freaking guy.
Yeah. He hit an age where he got attractive.
Honestly, I personally I really appreciate.
Oh, this one. This is my favorite. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
It's very Miami Vice.
Right?
I'm really appreciating like actors that are choosing to age gracefully, even though I
Yeah.
understand.
Choosing to age gracefully.
No, because some people are really choosing not to.
I don't. But also to a point, it's genetics.
No. When I say that, I mean
You mean
are,
like no work done?
You are. If you are getting work done, you're doing it in a way that looks really natural. Like Anne Hathaway, she is looking great. She has
Oh,
gotten
God.
very minimal, very well placed Botox and fillers. Okay, you cannot tell
Did
me
you see that
she
thing
didn't.
about the fillers recently? The ones that they were claiming dissolve but don't.
Yeah, because
That's
fillers,
why, like, what's her face?
fillers never dissolve.
Yeah, they had but they were marketed as they did, and the people that make them told
Yeah.
the doctors that they also did.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they didn't, and they like migrated. That's why recently, I think at the Met or some shit, there was like a bunch of people like the Jenners and the Kardashians
Yeah, Kylie
and
Jenner.
whatnot, and the wife of Pharrell Williams, I think. What's her name?
I don't know. Sorry.
They like they call it like super puffy cheeks and stuff because it migrated and then like expanded, and so it like ruined a bunch of their looks.
So the thing with fillers is, as you use fillers, because they will deteriorate a little bit, but they will never fully go away.
Right, but these were marketed as that.
Right.
They did.
No, I know. All fillers are marketed like that, unless you're getting like silicone or black market stuff, which will never
Right.
go
I
away.
mean, but
But the thing with fillers is, not only because it doesn't go away, as you fill your face, you have to fill more, because it's what you would consider like a blindness to it. So if you get like regular fillers done, right? So let's say you just get your lips done. You just get a little bit done, right? And then you're like, ooh, my lips look so good now. But then when you go to get them filled again, you will go and ask for a little bit more. So over time, that's why you see with these celebrities that get like way too much filler, like Madonna, right? Where her face is not looking very normal, is because she has so much filler in her face that if she stopped getting the fillers, her face has expanded to actually accommodate. The skin on her face has expanded to accommodate for the filler. So now if she stops getting them, she's going to look even more droopy and old.
yes, but specifically what I'm talking about is a thing that came out recently that was like this high-end Botox thing that was completely marketed as it goes away after 6 months.
Right.
And so a bunch of celebrities were getting it, and then it would start looking like it was going away, but it was actually just migrating to a different part of their face. And so
Yeah.
then they would put more in.
Yeah.
And so thus it built up where then it like all culminated in like under eyes and whatnot. And that's why a bunch of them looked really bad.
Yeah.
But the only person that I think worked the Botox into their style is Dolly Parton. She's never looked real.
I mean, yes, I would agree.
And so thus it's always worked for her.
But Dolly Parton in the 80s, bro. Dolly
But-
Parton in the 70s. Dolly Parton in the 60s.
But I
dog?
think even Dolly Parton, no, yes, she's never gone for a realistic or natural look. But if you look at the difference between, let's say, somebody like Cher versus Dolly Parton versus Madonna, who all obviously have cosmetic procedures, I think the biggest difference is Dolly Parton, even though she's always gotten work done, she's never done too much. So it always looks natural on her because
Okay, I was like,
not natural to the average person, but she doesn't look unusual because it's a natural progression, right? From her in the 80s to now, where you could be like, yeah, I could see the difference in age, but it doesn't look like she's trying to like overfill her face. Whereas Madonna looks like a completely different person now than from the 80s, and her entire face shape is completely different now. You know what I mean? Whereas Cher, I think, also a good example of, yes, she doesn't look real, but she's never, I think, had too much because she's kind of always had the same amount, if that makes sense. She always had that very tight facelift kind of look. So now that she's older and she's probably had a few facelifts, it doesn't seem too crazy, if that makes sense, because the visual style has been the same throughout.
Right.
I am like so invested in cosmetic procedures.
Yeah.
Like,
do you watch
it's-
Botched?
I love Botched.
You do?
It's just something that like I find very interesting. And like one thing as I'm getting closer to 30, I'm realizing I'm like, I am so glad I never did anything cosmetic wise to like my face or body,
Yeah.
because the amount of like girls and influencers on like TikTok and Instagram who are now coming out being like, I wish I never got fillers done. Like I'm like the number of people dissolving their fillers because one, the maintenance is insane. It's extremely expensive. And it's true. Like you will stop looking like yourself
Right.
because it's so easy to be addicted to it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and especially like Botox. Like, what was I was watching something the other day where they were just so completely frozen in their face, and I was like, I wonder if they can even register how frozen they are.
What if they can eat?
Like when they look at themselves in the mirror, do they realize?
Someone threw out Pierce Brosnan, and you know what? Yeah, not that he was unattractive, but like that
Oh,
man,
he's always been hot.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
He's
That
always been
man
hot.
got the gray hit, and he got the beard, and you're like,
Yeah, I agree.
damn.
Yeah, he's always been hot.
I agree.
He looks great though. With the salt and pepper.
I've just been looking at trying to find other people's points of actors that got hotter.
Yeah,
For the most
that's
part,
fair.
in different things, they all kind of just look generally the
Meryl
same.
Streep, another great example of like doing minor work that like because you can't look at her and be like, oh, she looks young,
Well,
because she doesn't.
no, she's in her early
But
70s.
she looks like she looks amazing for 70.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But like she got extremely lucky with the genetics,
Hmm.
not because she looks like she's had a crazy amount of work done.
right.
I feel like there's like a weird like two-way street of like, you know, like old actors like that are now usually dying at this point that were like they were old to the point where they were never going to get work done, where like, you know, you had Betty White, where it's like you'd say Betty White almost always looked great, and there was no point where she probably would have gotten work done because it wouldn't have really been a thing at that point. Versus like women now, where it's like they've probably gotten stuff done, and they are probably aging to a point where you're like, that doesn't look great anymore. Where it's like, either do you roll the dice and just hope you age well and deal with the outcome, or do you keep trying to like fix it?
I don't know, because I feel like we kind of saw this a little bit with like Demi Moore, right, where she had that not so great facelift and lip filler combo, and she did look kind of bizarre. She immediately realized that it was too much, and she scaled back, and now she looks great for her age.
I think she
but-
looks hotter than she did in the
right.
80s.
So
Like, my
now
Lord.
that she
Courtney
decided
Cox,
to
someone that
Courtney
did too
Cox,
much.
another excellent
Oh,
example
Courtney
where
Cox,
she was doing too much, and you know that was what 10-15 years ago, where she was just did not look great.
She looked off.
Yeah.
You'd look at her and be like, who?
Where you can tell by the features that it's unnatural, right? Whereas now she's started scaling back on the amount of procedures she's getting done and how extreme she's going, and I think she looks great now.
Yeah.
You know, she looks appropriate for her age, but she looks wonderful.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Aniston, another great example. I know
That's
you
not
just
who I
said,
said.
I know you just said I know you said Jennifer Connelly, but Jennifer Aniston just came to my mind at the same second.
Jennifer Aniston.
But yeah, good examples as well. Like
Yeah, I mean, I think has Jennifer Aniston had work done? Because I feel like she's aged naturally, right?
I feel like she's
you
probably
have a better eye for that than me.
I feel like she's probably had, you know, I mean, she's had a nose job, but that was 30 years ago at this point.
Well, yeah.
But no, she's definitely probably had, you know, a little Botox here, a little filler here, but very, very minor in that she looks age appropriate. What?
Yeah.
She looks like a woman in her 50s.
No, you're right.
But she looks really good,
Yeah.
you know?
No, she absolutely does. I mean, she's still one of the most attractive actresses working today.
She looks beautiful, and her fitness routine, like, she keeps it, you know, very good and trim.
She keeps it $150.
Exactly.
You know? No, I get it.
But yeah. And then there's other people where I just think I can understand the desire to like hold on to it. But it's just, I feel like time will keep going
No,
regardless
time
of what
ain't
you
stopping.
choose.
Time ain't stopping.
I feel like for the most part, most men in Hollywood seem to not at least go the Botox route. That seemingly, they just kind of commit to the bit.
They are absolutely getting Botox and fillers.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure not all, but like I feel like I don't know. Like you wouldn't think like Josh Brolin probably is getting anything.
I feel like he would probably get like minor again. That's why he looks so good, because he's just doing a little bit. Brad Pitt is another example of he does just a little bit, you know, right on like the fine lines here, around the nose, around the mouth, you know, like your smile lines, because over time, regardless,
You think they are? Or they're not just.
He's 60. he
I'm
looks
saying
good for
they
60.
are
Oh,
for
all right,
sure.
all right.
There's no question about it. Like and whereas like Brad Pitt is a good example of like great minimal work.
Mhm.
But then like recently, like did you see those pictures of Ryan Gosling at the Fall Guy premiere?
Yeah, where he was very like full.
Yeah, his face was like really puffy. Which is weird because during like the Barbie premiere, like whatever work he was getting done then looked great. Made him look amazing. But then for Fall Guy, he like I don't know, maybe he went to a different person, but they like way overfilled his face. And I was like, who did this to you? You're too handsome in real life to let somebody distort your features like this, you know?
Oh, Ryan.
But yeah, I think it's just such an interesting thing. Like, especially if you start like diving deep into it, it's so interesting.
It just makes me like kind of sad,
yeah.
you know?
But that's
the
why,
thing.
like, I know for myself, like, I will probably not get any work done to my face
Yeah, me neither.
because I also am like deeply invested in like the side effects.
Yeah.
I'm very much willing to just let my age be my age, but also I'm not in movies
Look,
and
Right.
making billions
Exactly.
of
No,
dollars. I'm
that-
not willing to spend that money anyway.
That's why I'm saying, like, I can completely
save it for my
understand
penis enlargement.
the desire to want to maintain a certain image because you are on these ultra HD giant movie screens
Yeah.
where
It's the
people
amount
can
of-
see your pores and
well,
everything.
and that's just also getting into like beauty standards.
You remember all those
It's
people that got
bullshit.
fired from news stations after they upgraded to HD?
That's fucking crazy.
There was like a massive wave of like, oh, none of these people are attractive in HD. Oh,
That's crazy.
horrible.
That's crazy. But yeah,
Look,
like
I'm ready for my chin to droop down to my balls. All right, like I'm gonna get old. It's gonna happen. The passage of time is inevitable. And you know, if stuff's gotta sag, stuff's gotta sag. You know,
the only
is what it
alternative
is.
to aging is death. So,
two constants: death and taxes.
you
So,
know,
yeah,
like
that's what it is.
pick a route.
Pick a route.
Death or
Death
get
or
old.
taxes.
yeah, I'll choose the shotgun method whenever I, whenever
We'll
I
take
get
you out back like Old
Yeah.
Yeller.
Yeah, old Yeller. Yeah, just put it all right, kneel down.
once it starts getting droopy, I'm like, all right, pull the
All
trigger.
right, pull it out. I want to get to the point where, like, if I get to that point, like, my skin will just absorb the bullet. You know what I'm saying? It'll just wrap it back around and throw it
Your
back
skin
at the
is
gun.
so
The first time,
flappy.
the first time I sit down and sit on my balls, end it.
That's it. It's over.
End it.
I've done that before. So am I ready to go? I think
I
I'm
was
ready
gonna
to
say,
go.
does that not happen?
No, it happens.
It depends
know
on
what
the
balls
person.
you have, but it happens.
It depends on the person.
I see.
At some point, it starts drooping like
During the
excessively.
summer, yeah. During the winter, not so much.
but
During the winter, it looks like the Fortress of Solitude down there. Right?
The fortress.
Nothing's getting in or out.
I feel like this is a very like male specific experience.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, well, especially like once you
Absolutely.
get older, then they really start drooping, and then you really got to worry about it.
Oh yeah, they look like two like uncracked eggs. It's like
Horrible. Horrible.
you ever watched the Seinfeld episode about the shrinkage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Oh my
Shrinkage
God.
is real, Sage.
I've
Shrinkage-
never watched Seinfeld.
Really?
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I've
Seinfeld.
I've never
Wonderful
watched
show.
even one single episode all the way
Really?
through. Never.
Nope, not one.
It's great. I mean,
I mean, I've heard that.
you know,
My parents have like the entire like DVD box set at home.
really.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because they apparently like that, which is weird. Because I'm like, my mom never watches TV. When would she have time to like Seinfeld?
My mom
She
doesn't
have
like
time
laugh,
to
so,
like
I don't know.
Seinfeld.
The only television I've ever seen her watch is HGTV,
Like what's fucking
the Home Network or
yeah,
whatever it's
yeah.
called.
So okay, I have a quick question about your mother.
Yeah.
Who
So-
doesn't exist?
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you were saying that she listens to like books in the car.
Yeah.
And they were
She
like
doesn't
boring
anymore.
books.
Yeah.
Well, back when she did.
Yeah.
I never. What were the books that like? What was like the? what was the content?
I remember very specifically she was listening to this one that was like on 6 CDs.
God.
It was something like Living in the Now, I think it was what it was called.
Oh, so it was like self-help books.
Not really.
Okay.
But then again, I was like 7 at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I was tuning them out. But I do specifically remember that for every single chapter or like next section, like the guy would be like, living in the now. And then you would hear a chime, like a clink. And then it would move on to the next section of the book. And then I also remember she listened to I think it was somebody's autobiography, a audiobook of someone's biography. I don't remember who or what or how, but the only portion of this that I remember is the guy who was like narrating it being like, oh yeah. And then when I was like 12, I remember seeing my first ever porno mag.
What the
I
fuck?
was in the woods.
It's such a common story for In the Woods, though.
Yeah.
So many people, especially like in the olden days.
I guess the woods are the best place to dump like nudie mags.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But yeah, so he was like, I was in the woods and there was this porno mag like thrown about and it was open on the centerfold.
Nice.
And this man went into way too much description.
Yeah, and that's you know what I found about autobiographies is that whenever like a person details their first sex experience, it's like the best written part of the whole thing. Like
JD Vance fucking a couch.
Yeah, you ever read listen to the part of Prince Harry's autobiography where he talks about getting his hand
I've never
job?
read anyone's autobiography, or listened to except for Miley Cyrus's "My Life So Far" when
Sure.
I was in 6th grade. Okay,
I mean, yeah, as you should, right?
My life so far. But what was she? 12?
I think she was like 16.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. But like the Prince Harry thing, he was just like, and then she unraveled my trousers and then put a hand on my viscous cock and then started stroking. And then it was like 45 minutes of being like, and then when I ejaculated, I did it into the cup and then she took it for the sample. And we're like, where is this going? Was she a doctor? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, wait, what? Now I'm confused.
It was like 45 minutes of him describing how he got his first hand job. And it was like a medical procedure. So it like wasn't even that cool. So
Bro, I wish
A
I
medical
I was like-
procedure? Don't they usually just like, okay, here you go?
I don't
do
know.
Your
It
thing.
was like some fucking bullshit that he was talking about. But like, yeah, it was like he spends like 2 seconds talking about his daughter, and then like 45 minutes talking about how he got a handy from like some fucking probably fake doctor.
LOL.
Like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, on that note,
On that note.
thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, like, follow. Check out Cat the Moonstar on Twitch. Check out Anthony at Super Milkshake on YouTube. And you have 1 week? I think 1 week till Code Geass. So get on that. And we will see you guys next week, I guess, for Anime Club.
Yeah.
So see ya.
Bye.
See ya.